This is Professional Launch with Ricot Aladin, positively connecting the less connected, bridging gaps, and building futures in the community. Professional Launch with Ricot Aladin.
We are back today. We are talking to three great young professionals about the film industry, and I'm so happy to learn from them and learn what is out there in the film industry, especially in this area. But before we continue with the conversation, I have a favor to ask you. Professional Launch is a non-profit organization, and therefore we heavily rely on friends, on guests, on partners to keep our operation going. So go to professionallaunch.org and see all the ways you can support our work and support our operation. We thank you so much. Now, as you know, guys, this platform, this organization is about mentorship. And I say that because I am a product of mentors. I have a lot of great folks who invest in me, who put up with me and supporting my work and my journey. And so the first question I have about this is, what role has mentorship played in your careers? Let's start with you, Jeff.
For me, in the acting realm, I worked with a gentleman named Martin Jonason, who got me involved with film first, into levels that I had never experienced because I came from a small town and we didn't really have a whole lot of opportunities. So he was the one who set me up to go to New York, and I think that if you're looking for a mentor as a young person, you want to look for somebody who actually believes in you. But anybody can be a mentor if you are willing to listen. So you have to go in, again, without that ego and thinking that you know everything. You have to go with that open heart and open mind, and that's something that Marty told me.
Wonderful.
So.
You have to go with that open heart and open mind. Can I steal that?
Of course. Pass it on.
Wonderful. Well, Jessica, that was great, because this is what we want to help mentees, young professionals, understand that don't go to the meeting your mentor thinking that you know it all, right? And keep an open mind. So, Jason, what do you think?
I've had quite a few. I had Rusty Castleton and Tom Brando, both former professors at MSUM, and both have passed away. And Tom's the professor from MSUM that got me on the pro bono job that got me into this industry. And on that job, I met Tom Tullison, who was the DP around for the Red River Valley for the higher end commercials, and Mike Bullock, who was own a production studio, and Phil Kerr. And they've each taught me things that it may have taken a while to sink in, but they taught me things that I still do today, that good or bad, I still do them.
Wonderful. What about you, Jordan?
Well, I guess one of the first mentors I had was this fellow named Randy Wimberg, and he did like a lot of the underwater cinematography on the Titanic. So he's worked with James Cameron and whatnot, but he'd be tired having the camera on his shoulder. I'd be his assistant camera, and he would give me the big camera and give me pointers along the way, and then that night we would watch footage in the hotel room, wherever we were. He would, critique me, and I think that was pretty invaluable. And then I've worked with a ton of great camera operators along the way, directors of photography. But I mean, now in Fargo, Jason's kind of been helping me out, teaching me a lot more about lighting, passing me jobs that he hears about, so you're always learning. So there's always a new mentor along the way.
Rico, can I add something to that? I think that's a really good point. And I these two are quite humble when they're speaking. They, on my set, were mentoring some of our younger filmmakers and our PAs. They didn't have to. And it was something that I think, being on this show, that I wanted to showcase that they bring to is a huge value.
Wonderful. So why should young people consider mentorship, especially as part of their careers, but especially in the film industry? What do you think? Why should they consider mentorship?
You mean like why should they seek out a mentor?
Yeah.
Opportunity.
Well, that, and they'll help them prevent them from making the mistakes that the mentor did, or showing them a way to get around an idea that's stopping them from moving forward. I mean, because when you work with someone that's got 20 years of experience, they've seen a lot more than you have yet, and they can explain things to you that you may not understand in your head yet.
Wonderful. You were about to say something, Jordan.
Oh, I just agree. I mean, having a mentor, they can, yeah, like you said, they can help you prevent from making the mistakes that they did, you know? Just little things like that. Kind of just guide you along your way. They've been there before, so
Yeah. They've seen it. They probably have not seen it all, but they've seen quite a few things. that
yeah,
they
yeah.
haven't yet,
And
right?
just little pointers here and there. If you just keep collecting them, before you know it, you're 10 times better than you were a year ago, you know?
So, Jessica, why should young people seek a mentor or seek mentorship?
Eventually, you're going to have to pay it forward. So you got to know kind of what you're doing. And if you learn from somebody who has done it poorly, you can learn what not to do. If you learn from somebody who's really good, you can pass those things forward. But I think the biggest thing as somebody who's trying to launch their career, getting a mentor gets your foot in the door, gets you to know people, gets you to network with people that are those 10% or whatever. What did you say before? It was like 10% that are actually saying your name in the room.
Wonderful. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because what we are trying to create with Professional Lunch is facilitating those meaningful professional relationships. A lot of people get that, thinking that just because you have 1,000 people that follow, or you follow on LinkedIn, you have a big network. That is not what network, as I just learned. All right. That is not what network is about. It's about having really some good people who would, send some leads your way, send you some opportunities, people that are thinking about you and your career, but also you are doing the same for them. So this is one of the things that I think a lot of time that gets missed out. And what we are trying to create here is provide opportunities for young professionals to connect with those folks who are doing great things, in a field that they might be interested in, and that will bring that opportunity for them because they don't know what's out there yet, right? So somebody, 19-year-old in college right now, don't know, they probably don't know, even if they choose a major, they probably don't know what's out there for them in that major yet. So by giving them this opportunity, that create, an avenue for them to seek, to be successful. So, what is one lesson you all have learned on set that applies to your everyday life?
Doesn't really apply that much to like my profession, but the first thing that jumped out at me was to always keep track of your vehicle keys. When I first started in, like, as a production assistant, it was kind of right when the keyless keys, where you just the push button start vehicles were becoming popular.
Okay.
And a big thing that productions do is, if you're on set or whatever, you put the key on the dashboard. And long story short, I did that one day. It started downpouring, so we quickly loaded up the gear and got out of there. And then we got back to town and realized that the keys weren't in the vehicle. They had been on the dashboard, and it was raining, so the windshield wipers blew them off on some country road way in North Carolina, and the vehicle didn't start after we got back to the hotel. And that just really stuck with me. Every time I am on set or renting a vehicle or whatever, I always make sure I know where the keys are, especially if I'm driving away. I don't know. It's not. It's a funny story, but it's really stuck with me.
It's legit because we lost keys on our set.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
So before we take a break, because we're having some issues with mic 2 here, what about you, Jessica?
Can you repeat the question again?
The question, what one lesson you learned on set that serve you for your everyday life?
Oh, come prepared. Especially, so I would say looking at it from the other end of the camera, to talk to the kids who might want to be on the actor end, or even if you want to get into being a director or producer, you want to make sure that you are very prepared, very rehearsed, so you make those guys' job much easier.
Wonderful. Let's take a break here. When we come back, we'll continue with the conversation. We're having some issue with mic 2. We'll be right back. We are back. Today we are talking about the film industry and the opportunities that exist for those who are seeking a major in that industry. And we are so grateful to have Jason, Jordan, and Jessica, the 3 J's, here in the studio for a conversation. And so before we ask the next question, I want to remind everybody that Professional Launch is a nonprofit organization, and therefore we heavily rely on friends, on guests, on partners to keep our operation going. Visit our site, professionallaunch.org/donate, and see all the ways you can support us. So now I have to ask you guys, with AI and streaming platforms and all the new tools, new technologies, how do you see technology change the film industry?
It's a lot easier to get in. Like before, if you wanted to make a feature, even a low budget feature, your biggest cost was going to be film. And now with digital platform, I mean, all you have to do is have a card, and you can offload that card, delete all the information on that card, and just keep shooting. You don't have to worry about the cost of buying film and developing film. So it has made making films or making stories on film easier to do. And as for AI, I think right now there are too many people are relying on it as I can do everything with AI. And AI is just a communication tool. You have to be able to explain in the prompt what you want from it. And if you can't do that, it's not going to return what you are hoping to see in your mind. Whereas if I ask Jess to do something, doesn't understand what I'm asking, she'll ask me questions back, and then I can explain myself further. And until you learn how to do that with a prompt, I don't think AI is going to be as good as people think it is for them to alleviate some of the stress they have with hiring somebody else to come in and help them.
Okay. So what about you, Jordan? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It does make it more accessible for people, like AI in general, to like they can make their video and just kind of type what they want to edit. But I think that there's always going to be a place, hopefully, for like people's skills, you know, people that are really talented editors, really talented shooters, that hopefully, you know, won't get completely overtaken by AI, because I know it has affected the job market in production. Smaller crews, smaller post-production teams, you know, because AI is doing the brunt of the work now. So I hope there'll always be a place for actual humans to be doing the work, because it's fun to work.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
I do actually. I specifically wrote this down about AI because I kind of had a feeling that it might come up. AI is great for influencers, and there is a big market for it, and they will make money and they will kick their platform off. But there is something missing. You can tell there's something hollow from somebody who's a writer or an actor. You can see that missing element right now. I think that there's a lot of consumers that don't care, so there's a market for it. So if you want to go down that path, there's a path for it. Just like if you wanted to go, let's say, to Hallmark, you know, you could go to that platform too, or something else. Or soap operas for that example. But I think that it's great for younger people to start embracing it, because I don't think it's going to go away. And I think market-wise, if you don't add it to your skill set, you might be left behind. So that would be, I think, a fear that kids should look into, but not rely on it, like Jason was saying, Jordan was
Do you think it will make it harder for young professionals to to find opportunities in the industry?
No.
Okay.
I think it will help them open doors, because I'm old, and trying to learn how to use AI correctly is not in my skill set. I don't want to know how to do it. So if I had someone come to me and go, look, here's what I can do with AI, and they go, okay, can you do this with AI? Because this is what I'm looking for, and they can show me that it brings value to me, they're more than welcome to come out on my shoots. So no, I don't think it's going to hinder anything. I think it's going to just open doors as long as you know how to use it. And then with that, I can train you to do the things that I need you to do on set.
Wonderful. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts? Do you think that's going to make it harder? Do you think AI or new technologies will make it harder for young professionals? What about you?
I think it's kind of, both of you guys kind of touched on two separate points, but like Jess said, if you embrace it, I mean, it's not going anywhere. If you embrace it, it can help you. Like Jason also said, like, I don't really use AI that much, but if there's a young person coming up that really masters the technique, they'll be a sought after candidate for whatever job, you know. But I'd like to see AI chase after, you know, 3 mountain lions going up a hill with a camera on their shoulder, because there'll always be a place for for the raw human talent. I don't know.
Do you think AI is helping or hurting creativity when it comes to either the film industry or, music?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think both.
Yeah, I think I think right now people are relying on it too much to cut everything out just to get from point A to point B. I think there needs to be a middle ground in there in which you experiment, and I don't think AI knows how to experiment with concepts. It only scrapes the internet for our existing ideas to produce something it thinks you want to hear. Whereas great artists or great philosophers, or however you want to say it, they came across something naturally that by experience or doing something that a computer cannot do and will never be able to do, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, it's both, because I do know some story producers that, before AI or whatever, before ChatGPT, they have to think of these stories on their own for whatever we're filming, whatever History Channel show we're filming. They have to think of a story, but you can just go into a room and be like, enter in a prompt. Give me a story for a person living in the woods in North Carolina. And boom, ChatGPT might spit out a story at you. But you could have 10 story producers do the same thing and type in a prompt on ChatGPT, and it'll give them all the same thing. Whereas if you put like 10 story producers in 10 different rooms and had them come up with their own stories, they might be wildly different and each more creative than the next, So I don't know if that answers the question at all, but
Jessica, you have any thoughts?
I mean, you save some resources for sure, but that skilled level of talent has to be there at the core. Otherwise, there's going to be something hollow, and most consumers are going to notice that. But there is a mass consumer audience that isn't noticing it, and there's going to be a market for it. So if people want to go down that path, there's going to be a career option for that. But if you really want to get into the skilled work, like Guillermo del Toro was just talking about recently, there is going to be that path, and you'll be looked at, I think, by industry professionals maybe differently depending on how you use your AI skills.
Well, right now AI doesn't create. There was a guy at Industrial Light and Magic that used a video program, AI video program, to create a video of like, this is if a Star Wars probe went out to a new world, this are the animals we're going to see. But you could see it was a hybrid of existing animals. It's not going to create a Yoda. It's not going to create a Wookiee. It's not going to create a Tauntaun. It's not going to create something that it cannot find on the internet. And that's where the imagination of a human will always outdo AI.
So let me ask you. This is somewhat of a personal question. So, those of you who listen to music, you guys love music. I know folks who can make music with AI. Right? You can hear somebody singing. You can hear somebody playing. But would you rather have depending on the setting, would you rather have somebody playing a guitar or live music, something that they put together, or somebody that just go to AI and put up a prompt and then come up with those sounds? Would that something that, is there a difference in the way that you would receive that?
I think so. I think I would rather have a live musician any day of the week, You can't go to an AI concert and watch your favorite artist perform on stage and get that same emotion and feeling as if you were looking at a computer, like a blank computer screen that's spitting out noise at you, It might sound beautiful, but it's not the same as someone that took the time to learn it and master that art,
Doesn't have the emotional connection.
No, it doesn't have the emotional connection or even just the inspiration that you can be provided by some
Wonderful.
human-created art.
I would fully agree.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take another break here. And when we come back, we will continue with the conversation. We'll be right back. We are back today. We're having a conversation about the film industry with three great young professionals here in the community. And so, as I mentioned this before, the reason why we have professional launch is really to help those who are launching their careers, give them advice, help them find opportunities with our mentoring platform, and support them in any way that we can, whether it's looking for a job or what have you. And so, because I didn't know the film industry was alive in Fargo here, so I am so glad I connected with Jessica to find some folks to talk about that. And thank you, Jessica, for bringing Jason and Jordan to the show today. And so here's the questions, right? So tell me about what local opportunities that exist for students and young professionals to get involved right now, those who are pursuing, who are in the film industry.
Well, I think Jessica this summer, we worked on a film that she wrote and executive produced. And there was so many students helping out on that, a rotating cast of PAs jumping in, and I think a lot of them, were so eager to learn and came away with, they were constantly asking for advice or asking me and Jason or, what can we do to help? And just like being on set and getting that experience was pretty valuable. And you also build connections, the ones that are eager to learn and eager to help and end up improving. You're like, maybe if a job comes by and we need someone to hold a boom, we'll call Anya or someone that worked on the film. So I think working on those short projects like that was a pretty valuable thing for young folks to do.
Yeah. Anything to add, Jason?
I think that regardless of how the project finishes out, you should always be questioning, what could I do to be better? And that's something, again, I don't know if students are willing to try, or what I don't do and students may do is put your work out there to be criticized by the public. That will teach you to get really thick skin, and will teach you to have take criticism, and you can learn how to block out the extremes and just pick the middle side or the middle part of the criticism where people are actually trying to help you be better, or asking, this didn't work and this is why I don't think it works. And so just put your stuff out there and be willing to understand that you didn't make the greatest thing ever, and you're still going to learn. And even what I would consider the greatest movie ever is still not that great of a movie. So just learn and move on.
Oh, Jessica, anything to add?
There's not just Fargo Market to it. I think that you start to build those connections, and you're like, what can I do to help? What can I do to help? And not always be willing to jump in, even if it's for a day, because you can learn those fine skills. But also Minneapolis or different areas, Bemidji. You can go down to St. Cloud. You could go over to somewhere in Montana. You just have to keep your ears really open. Duluth has a huge market. I think another opportunity that people miss out on is to go and network at some place like the Fargo Film Festival. Start learning about the people there. Be a volunteer. That would be huge. You're going to meet so many people.
Wonderful. So, now this is a question I asked at the beginning when I first met you guys. Any of you working on something exciting right now?
Right after this, I'm heading to Medora to shoot some behind the scenes of a TV show premiere for INSP Network. And I've shot several series for them before, but it's a network that they air Gunsmoke reruns or Western themed stuff. So this is actually like a series about Teddy Roosevelt's life, and it'll be pretty interesting to learn about that. Go showcase the beauty of Medora, and that's what I'm working on.
Jason?
The next project I'm working on is learning how to weld. Not me, but doing welding videos, which Jordan's going to be on too.
I'll be on that as well.
Okay.
So
you're doing welding videos, showing people how to weld?
Yeah, like how to read a blueprint, how to find the the center of a round pipe, or why you weld on one side, why you don't weld on the other side. It's a training video for welders.
Wonderful. Jessica, what are you working on?
Editing from this summer's film, working on that, but also I am starting to write a short series. And I'm working on a play. I'm working at my profession right now on, we are launching, which I probably can't even go into too much detail, but training corporate video launches.
Wonderful. So I think Jason kind of answered my next question a little bit earlier. So we have about 1 minute for the next question. So keep it short. If you could go back right now, what advice would you give your younger self? Jason, you answered that a little bit if you were starting out. So what about you, Jordan?
In 1 minute, that's tough. If I could go
1 minute
back,
for all of us.
yeah, I got you. I got you. I would just say try to get involved in everything you can.
Yeah.
Always say yes. I mean, always keep your ears open and keep learning.
Wonderful.
Drop your ego.
Drop your ego. Yes. Jessica, what do you think? What would you tell your younger self if you were starting out?
I would say you did a good job. I think that even though I had a different path, I think that this was the right path to go. So I have no changes that I would make.
You wouldn't make any changes.
Nope.
Wonderful. Oh, yes. And so, guys, I want to thank you all so much, Jordan, Jason, and Jessica. I want to thank you guys for coming on the show today and share with me your experiences and also how young professionals who are interested in that industry can really, what they can do to begin launching their careers. I greatly appreciate you being here today. So, once again, I want to remind you, if you are listening to the show, if you're going to watch it later, that Professional Launch is a nonprofit organization, and therefore we heavily rely on your support to keep our operation going and also to continue to serve young professionals in this area here. And so go to professionallaunch.org/donate to see all the ways you can support us. And even if it is just by follow us follow our social media pages, it goes a long way. So, and it's just a free way to do just that. So we thank you so much for supporting the show, supporting Professional Launch, the organization, and supporting me in creating this resource for young professionals in this area. So this is our show, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I appreciate all of you. Hopefully this is not the end of it. We will stay in touch. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
All right. Now, this is the part that I tell you. It's up to you to make today a great day. Have a great day.